Awesome. All right. Well, welcome everybody. Thank you to your weekly leadership huddle. My name is Giovanni. I'm with my partner and mentor and friend, Sorel Ketan. Good morning, Sorel.
Good morning, Gio. My name is Sorel Ketana, and Gio and I are partners in good deeds and crazy things. And one crazy thing we're embarking upon is, you could call it an experiment of some sort, right? But the idea is I'm a human being, you are a human being, and every day we wake up, we confront what human beings deal with. So Gio and I intend on bringing to the party every week a unique perspective, a unique leadership perspective on everyday problems for everyday entrepreneurs, and you get you get to participate in causing that with us. So I'm Gio. I'm delighted. I'm excited. And I can't wait to engage in this conversation with you and those of you who joined us here, Maria, Rashida, Mary Pat. And so, how do we stay excited about something we consider a failure?
Yeah. And I think I get it going, Sorel.
Yeah.
I think on against the goal that someone could have. So for the most part, I'm gonna bring some goals, Sorel, that I know that I have, and some of our clients have, right? And everyday human beings have, and they are the goals that they have for their families, right? They want something to happen around their house or around what they want for their children to do or a particular event. This is the way I want my wedding to go or my divorce to go, right? Or in business, this is the way I want my business to grow. I want to have this client to happen. And then, or not, I want to go in this different direction. I want to make this amount of revenue. Or then there is the goals of life. Like I didn't achieve what I wanted for my life. And so there is this massive failure that people don't say, but they're walking it every day. They're walking in that context, inside of that emotion of I didn't do what I wanted to do with my life. I didn't fulfill my potential. I didn't fulfill what I wanted for me. And so they fall, and this is everyday people, they fall for this resignation for the possibility that life is.
Yeah.
And what and I'll say one more thing,
Yeah.
Sorrel. And then what this resignation that most people don't know how to deal with it. Some take medicine for it. Some don't take medicine for it, but they become overly positive. Like they say positive things all the time. Life is amazing. I'm doing amazing. I couldn't do any better today. But it's really under this context, under this emotion of I can't do any better anymore. And we give up, people give up on what they want for their lives because of an undistinguished emotion of failure that they are carrying around. And some get really upset, dominate life, dominate others by how upset they show up. They go home upset, they wake up upset, everything is wrong in their lives. And so today we're going to look at, I say, Sorel, today we're going to be looking at, well, how do you get out of that? How do you
Yeah.
create excitement in your life? How do you get out of that? Now, we're going to leave a seed. Obviously, we're going to not, it's going to solve anything in half an hour, but we're going to leave a powerful seed. So be at the edge of your seat, bring your life, bring your resignation, bring the truth of that you have in your life, and let's see if we can make a difference.
Yeah. And the other thing we want to do, Joe, we want to acknowledge those people, like human beings who toil for a lifetime. I mean, it's not just any goal. It's not like you woke up today, you said, I wanted this for my life. I wanted this for my business. I wanted this for my children. And then you didn't get it the next day. No, it's the kind of thing like you work a long time at it. And you have a certain expectation about what you want it to look like when you're done. And then you get to a point where, oh my God, I'm done, but the expectations you had weren't fulfilled. So I want to acknowledge the work that went into that. I want to acknowledge all of that. And I want you to know that the feeling you're feeling, the resignation that engulfs you, isn't you're not unique. And yes, Gio, we're going to give them a sense of how to get out of that. How do you get out of that?
Yeah, one of the aspects, I normally don't say this, Sorel, and I avoid saying this, but I think that it's critical for this kind of genuine conversations to invite whoever is listening right now, invite you to allow yourself to anchor yourself in something bigger than yourself. It's critical to allow for that, because a perspective like that is the one that allows for someone to be able to appreciate what they consider as a failure, to be able to appreciate it. And what do I mean by that? Whether it is a context in which one grows spiritually, or whether it's a declaration where one says, I've got to make my life something bigger than me. And my concerns, my wants, I've got to make my life something bigger than that. And so it's critical to start there, given that the emotion of failure, if you will, the emotion of I'm not where I'm supposed to be, or I didn't get what I wanted to be, or I don't have control over myself, so that I take medicine, like, Elon Musk takes medicine, right? The emotion of that is very difficult to discover a purpose for it if I'm making my life about myself, if I'm making life about me, like I should conquer life. It's important to find oneself connecting to something bigger than oneself. Like, my life is for something. How about that possibility? How about the possibility that my life is for something? That I'm here to fulfill something that is bigger than me. That maybe I'm here for a call. That maybe you're here for something you've been called for. And your life journey has allowed you and prepare you for that possibility, for what you're called for what your purpose is. And I think, Sorel, this is the very first aspect that one needs to dwell into, that one needs to allow to, so that this failure, that what one would consider failure, begins to lose its grip on significance. But it takes that first. I will start there, Sorel.
Yeah, thank you for starting there, Joe. You bring this up for me. Since 1999, I've been saying this to the world. I exist so that in my lifetime, Haiti is a developed country. And you could say that, given that, I'm just assuming that in the context you're creating, that a promise that Haiti's a developed country in my lifetime is something way bigger than me. And yet, I find myself sometimes making it about me. Like, I'm waiting for the gang violence to stop. I'm waiting for roads to be a thing that's taken for granted in Haiti. I'm waiting for education and an absence of poverty to be things that are taken for granted, that are there, and that I could say, oh my God, all of my efforts actually went into that. And if I hear you correctly, Haiti's a developed nation in my lifetime as something bigger than me isn't a goal that I have. Maybe it's a context I create for myself to wake up in and to live in every day. So I wake up every day and I say, I'm going to do X and I'm going to do Y. And what's giving me what I'm doing is this context I create for myself. So in a way, Gio, if I'm hearing you correctly, creating something bigger than myself gives me the opportunity to not be so attached to what happens every day. That
and that context, Haiti is a developed nation in my lifetime. This is certainly way bigger than yourself.
Yeah.
You're just out there. That in very big goal that you would need to reinvent yourself on a regular basis. This is something that matters to you. And this is important that we take a moment to talk about that. It's gotta be that matters to you.
Yeah, it's gotta be something that really matters.
It really matters. It really matters. And Sorel, you're giving this huge why for your life, right? This huge purpose. But I remember for myself, Sorel, the first time this started to make sense to me was when I was looking what could I make my life about? And the very first thing that made sense to me was I wanted to be successful. I wanted to be someone so that my mother didn't have to work at Walmart in her senior years. And at the time, I would go to Walmart and I would see a lot of people who were seniors, and I knew they weren't there because it was their hobby. They weren't there because they wanted to. I knew they were there because they had to. And I saw the environment wasn't for them. There wasn't I didn't see an environment that nurtured and appreciated their effort, right? Their experience, their lifetime experience. I saw an environment that was just kind of like taking advantage of the opportunity that they have to work. And for me, it was like, man, I want to be someone who can create a significant income or a business that will not have my mother end up in Walmart because she has to. That was the first thing, Sorel. That was my first why. That was my first something bigger than me, where the difficulties of my life at the time, they were okay because I felt like they were building me some kind of character.
Yeah.
Right. And it's important to find oneself in that direction. It's like, okay, what am I making my life about? And you're saying making Haiti.
Yeah, you know what else I hear, Gio? Thank you for saying that and sharing that. That the something bigger than myself that I choose doesn't have to be magnanimous. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be significant. It is just that it's not about me. I just got that in your speaking, Gio. It's not about me. It's about another. It's about others. It's about a world outside of me, which I don't make wrong. And yet I say, I want to see that world.
And
then I'll wake
up. I want
to
develop myself. I want to expand myself. I want to grow myself for that.
Yeah.
For that which matters to me, for that which I connect to, Sorel. I remember that was the first time. And then there was another one that kind of showed up for me at the time as I was expanding myself as a human being, right? Which was, it will mean the world to me if I could have Stefano, which is my son, to take tennis classes. But you see, at the time, Sorel, when I connected to that, I couldn't buy appetizers for myself. That would be insane to even consider the possibility of getting appetizers if I went to a restaurant. It would be insane. But that became my goal. That became my purpose. I want to grow so that I could become someone that can provide for his son tennis classes. And that started between my mother and him. And that's really started challenging me into creating this kind of fire within me to see the failures as opportunities, to
Yeah.
see the failures as, where did I expand here? Where did I learn here?
Oh,
Because
Gio.
no one is coming to save me. No one is going to come and give me a check so that Stefano goes to tennis classes. No one
Yeah.
is going to come and give me a check so that my mother has to do homework. It's going to be up to me, but it's not going to be up to me by making myself small and belittle myself and making me wrong. It's going to be up to me by building a kind of character that learns from his failures, from the gaps. Yeah, go ahead, Sorrel.
Something just miraculous is showing up for me, which is there is a world inside of which, when I say my life is for something bigger than me, which translates to it's about my son, it's about my mother, it's about my country, it's about something, someone, something outside of me, then there is the possibility that I just get to live doing things and saying things to forward that which I'm committed to. And then in that space, there are times when the results are what I expect, and there are times the results are what I don't expect. And I get to relate to the results just for what they are. And I can literally stay excited because I'm not connecting my excitement and my reason for being to the results I achieve.
Terrell, the way I translate that was very conceptual, abstract as it gets, Terrell.
Yeah.
Here's the way I translate that.
Translate that for me.
Yeah, let me translate that. And I heard it from this quote from Winston Churchill, which he says, success is about going from failure to failure to failure to failure with enthusiasm. And because Sorel, most of us don't have the kind of mastering our emotions where we can say, this is what happened and this is what didn't happen. And therefore, that takes years of practice so that one can have a brain that would say something like that. What normally people say is like, this is what happened to me. And I never wanted that to happen. And that was a massive failure. And of course, they won't say it out loud, but they will be feeling it. They will be feeling it. Everything will be inside of that emotion of I messed up, inside of the emotion of I messed up. When I heard that quote, Sorel, that I'm using to translate what you're saying, which is very important, what you're pointing to, which was go from failure to failure with enthusiasm. And it points to attitude, and I love whoever said it, whether it was Les Brown or whether it was Zig Ziglar or whoever said it, or whoever I heard it from, that attitude is a choice. Attitude is something that you bring to the table. It's not something that comes from outside. It's something that comes from inside. And that took me a while to get, Sorel. I mean, I'm really saying years, Sorel. It took me a while. I want to tell you where I got it. Can I tell you when I got it?
Yeah, tell me.
I never forgot this, Sorel. I was on my way to work. This is the days that I used to commute at 6 a.m, and I was running really late. And I was navigating
I
through
got to create
traffic, the
perspective here.
way.
Were you on the bus or were you driving a car?
No, I was driving a car and I was navigating through traffic like one does and trying to accelerate and trying to beat every single traffic light in the morning. And when you have a yellow traffic light, you just go through it and you pray that second that nothing happens. I was driving like that. But then I couldn't anticipate this one yellow light. And so I had to stop at a red light. And I remember stopping, being truly upset. Like I didn't beat this traffic light and I'm going to be late and they're going to tell me all these things. And I was blaming the person in front of me for going slow. So there I am at the traffic light on a red light. And as I am hitting the wheel and as I'm being upset and being with all the internal dialogue and nerves, firing, At the same time, there was this other car that came to the light really slow. And I look to my right and I see this other car. This guy was jamming at a song, whatever it was. I don't remember the song, but he was like jamming. And we were both at the same traffic light. And I was with fumes and he was jamming it. And then it was like, and that got it, Sorel, for both of us, the green light went at the same time. And at that moment, I discovered, man, attitude is something I bring to the table. It's not the traffic. It's not the environment. It's not the rain. It's not the people. It's what I bring to the table. And it was the first time for me that I started taking responsibility for what the emotions I bring to the circumstances of my life. But man, did that take something from me. I didn't know that was all associated with the money I was going to make. I didn't really know that attitude makes a difference. I didn't know that attitude was going to get people closer to my life. I didn't know that attitude was going to help me build friendships that I am forever grateful for. I didn't know any of those sort of things, but I did see at that moment that the quality of my life was better if I chose a better attitude for the circumstances of my life. And so that's how I want to translate what you said.
Say a little more about this, Gio. Is it just the quality of your life that's better, or does the probability of you achieving what you're really up to also expanded when you bring the attitude that matches? Like when you choose your attitude, does it also impact your results?
Completely, right? So I have a current example. I want to tie it up, right? So
yeah,
I want to bring everything together. So how do you stay excited about those aspects that you consider a failure in your life, right? So the first one we said, we find a way to connect to something bigger than yourself, and you got to connect emotionally. And then the next one that we're bringing up is now bring the right attitude about it, right? You're building the character. And then Sorel, you're building your character for the opportunity of the next level in your life. And Sorel, now you're pointing to how does that impact you positive in the things that you want? A week ago, Sorel, or maybe less than that, 4 days ago, I was leaving my house, and as I was leaving my house, there was this guy with a big truck doing construction in one of the neighborhood, in the neighborhood, in one of the houses. And I couldn't read what he was trying to do, so I continue to drive. And then I could see him really getting upset, because he really wanted me to do something I couldn't read him. So he drove towards me, lowered the window, and then he sort of, in this kind of loud, firm tone, not quite screaming, but loud, firm tone, said, "What are you doing, man?" And I could see it at that moment. This can escalate, and none of us are going to get what we want. So then I said to him, I knew I wanted to break his pattern. So I said to him, I'm not sure, but I want to do what you were asking me to do, but I couldn't read you. Were you trying to go to the front? What was it? I really couldn't read you. What were you trying to do? And then he was like, you could see in his face having a glitch, like he's not going to scream at me. He's trying to help me out. And then he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry," he says. I'm sorry. This is not the right way. Do you mind if you wait?" And I was like, no, I don't mind at all. And then he said, you know what? Never mind. Just go ahead and go. I'm sorry. So then I said, okay, sure. Now that got solved 45 seconds. I am sure if I would have said, "Hey man, what the hell? Why are you talking to me like that? I'm trying to get to work. What are you doing?" And then I just escalated. That could have taken 5, 6, 7 minutes, 10 minutes, or the worst, right? 2 guys getting out of the car. Attitude makes a profound difference in how to influence others. Now, if someone is up to something big in the world, something bigger than oneself, certain goals that are bigger than oneself, one starts realizing that there's something effective about managing one's attitude. Okay, that's what I wanted to add to your questions.
Yeah, Gio, just to wrap it up and maybe take a few questions, I want to say what Gio's pointing to and what we're pointing to in the realm of how do you stay excited when something you really care about fails? How do you stay excited when something you consider a failure? One, connect to something way bigger than yourself. Then bring the right attitude to the party and watch the world shift. It's almost as if that which you're connected to, your attitude, shifts the world, both for you and others. So, Gio, I'd love to hear what others are thinking. We've got a few minutes. What do you think?
Yes, and as you guys are preparing what you're going to say, I want to add this to the mix, and this will come from the Course of Miracles, and this has made a profound difference in my life. There is a line in the Course of Miracles that says, "I don't know why things happen, and I don't need to know." And this has made a huge difference for me. I connect to something bigger than myself, and my purpose has shifted and changed over time. I bring the right conviction and the right attitude that I am connected to something bigger than me that excites me. And then things happen. And I really wrap my arms around, well, I don't know why things happen. I don't need to know. This aspect of I don't need to know leaves me highly creative and with a lot of peace to discover the next day with excitement. So I wanted to say that.
Thank you. Thank you. So who wants to say something? What's opening up for you? What are you seeing in the context of where you failed in life and maybe have lost your excitement? Or go ahead, Mary Pat.
Yeah, this is a wonderful conversation, and I'm literally in it right now, dealing with the death of my brother and his, just with his children and so forth. And my goal was to bring love and connection back into this family, their family unit. And I think, Sorrel, the thing that you said that really struck me was being attached doesn't work, because when you're attached to something, it has to be your way. And when you're not attached to something, you allow for the miracles. And they're happening all around me. And it's not the way I planned it, right? So it's like that's what's so. And my way is not the way. My way is a way, but it's not the way. And that takes an awful lot of training and development to get to the space of allow it to unfold. There's a process here that's bigger than me. And there's a God involved that's bigger than me. And I want to just be in the space of being used up, like literally used up for this family to grow and to have love and connection. So this has been great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mary Pat. It's as if when you let go and surrender to what's happening and you're not attached to anything, you're actually creating the space where the people you care for can actually have the life they want. And what you want for them gets fulfilled, except it's not fulfilled the way you were thinking.
Yeah, absolutely.
What a beautiful place to be.
Yeah, it really, really is. And then that whole attachment thing. I mean, I come from let's see, 68 years of it has to be my way because that's the right way. So that training and development wasn't easy, but it is so freeing to be creative. Like you said, just allow it to unfold and work with it. So it's been an amazing experience, and I'm in it right now. So thank you.
Yeah. Mary Pat, thank you for sharing that. And I'm sorry to hear about your brother. I'm really sorry to hear that. And you said something for me that I want to highlight, and it is this: the there is, I'm going to say it in my words, Mary Pat, there is the attitude you bring to create a space for others to be in love. There's another way of saying it is there's a way of being you bring to the space, to create a space for others to discover being in love. And I mean, it's not like I want to I want to align with you, or I want to say you're right, but I'm going to say it that way, and you're right. I bring this space, you bring this space, and what shows up in that space, it will make you get gray hair, Mary Beth, to be attached to what's going to happen, and how it should happen, and what they should say and what they shouldn't say. Being attached will leave us both stressed. And then there is what happens, and then bring that space, bring that being, bring that attitude of love once again to the space, so that they can reinvent themselves inside of your intention. And I see it all the time happening. And I see that possibility happen all the time. And I see that miracle happens all the time. And it really takes something to be standing for a space of love. And I acknowledge you for that.
Thank you. One other thing that just came to me is, we as humanity, one of the most important things that we come with is we want to be heard, right? And I've been able to step back and just really not be heard, but allow others to be heard as families working together, and not bring my opinion into that, but allow them to be heard, period. And when they're heard, there's power for them.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, Mary Pat. Go ahead, Sorrel.
Yeah, Mary Pat, you just reminded me of something that Stephen Covey said a long time ago that I've never forgotten, and it's right there. It's like, when a grief shows up, or when a grievance shows up, whatever it is that shows up, if you let it birth, it dies as it's being born. But if you don't let it birth, it stays alive and it eats up everything. So thank you for being someone who can let others be born in your listening. A listening given by your love. Thank you for that, Mary Pat.
Thank you.
Mary Pat, thank you for bringing your life to this conversation. Thank you for bringing your family. Thank you for bringing your brother. We honor your brother. We honor you. We honor your family. Sorrel, time is up.
Time is up.
How do we wrap up the weekly leadership huddle, where we bring unique leadership perspectives to everyday problems?
I'd love to wrap it up this way. Everyday problems are not wrong. Everyday problems are opportunities for us to look. And we've chosen, you and I, Gio, to focus this conversation on a weekly basis on everyday problems faced by everyday entrepreneurs, so that we as entrepreneurs can live in a world where we know we are not alone. The problems are not yours. They're just human being problems. And in that context, that's what this conversation is all about. Whether or not you're struggling with turnover in your company, whether or not you're struggling with revenues not growing as well as you'd like them to grow, we assert that there is a human problem, an everyday problem that is in the way. And this conversation is dedicated to have you see that problem for what it is, and to leave with some tools to deal with that problem more effectively in your life. That's what I want to say to you. What do you want to add to that?
Love it, Sorrel. There is a human problem in everyday challenges, or there's a human, yeah, there's a human aspect to deal with in everyday challenges and everyday business challenges.
Yeah.
And we bring a unique perspective to that. Sorrel, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Mary
Gio.
Pat, thank you. Mary Sangria, thank you. Chase, Rashida, Virtue, and all of you who hear us on Facebook or on YouTube, thank you so much. We shall see you next week, Monday, for your weekly leadership huddle. In the meantime, sleep, eat more plant-based, smile, love, move every day, give, and check your assumptions before you wreck yourself. I love you. Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Maria.